Hey, my name is Damien. I'm the French guy of Revolgy, and today I'm here with my friend Jakub. Hey, to talk to you about the best IT infrastructure for your company. And for me, this is the future. That was too much. Ciao, Jakub.
Hey, man.
How are you?
Long time no see. I'm good.
Yeah, this is crazy. Like you see this COVID.
10 months?
10 months we.
10 months ago.
10 months we were not in this office because of situation. I invite you today that I want to speak to you about one specific topic for some of our customers. I think we can, discuss about it today.
Okay, let's get rolling.
That's cool. Yeah. So, let's speak about the traditional IT organization infrastructure for any company,
Yeah, okay. Well, that's my first question actually for any company. I'm doing sales here in Revolgy, and I meet a lot of clients from really smallish companies to corporates to big corporates. Do you think that it's still any company, like the pains we are addressing?
Yeah. I think it can go from like a really small 10, 20 people company, or maybe their infrastructure is not that complex, but even to bigger ones, like let's imagine, call centers or big corporation things who have, already built kind of a legacy system with the IT infrastructure, and they don't know, how to modernize it, how to push it to the next level, so.
And do you think they really feel the need to modernize it? Because that's sometimes, sometimes I hate to use this term, but this challenging the status quo. Sometimes it's just like we come there, we bring the topic of modernizing the IT. You can really, there is a lingering question for the client, why would we do it? It works somehow.
I see this. I think for me, what is missing the most, actually, it's to figure out the big picture.
Yeah.
What we have now and where we can go. Speaking of cloud, of actual technology, and it's really hard, to find, what we can change to go the right way. Let's take something typical.
Okay.
Okay. So let's imagine you have a company, you have your users using Windows laptop.
Sure. In my private life, I use it.
Really?
I do. To be honest, I'm a gamer, so you can't really do that on Mac OS.
In the traditional IT structure, you have your Windows laptop connected to a Windows server through Active Directory mostly, where you can manage those devices, and you have also your IT support who needs to actually help you to maintain this machine. So it means installing software in it, updating everything, antivirus, Windows Update, all the software you need there. And also, when the user, and it was quite the case these last times, need to work from home, they need also to connect to your legacy servers and stuff from home using a VPN most of the time. And we know how painful can be a VPN, credentials out of date. Nobody likes that. Everybody spoke about it.
I've been there and nobody likes that.
They don't like it. Like a certificate is out of date, nothing is working, you don't know. So it's a big topic for IT support. I was working on IT support during a long time, and the morning where the VPN is down, you see it. You open the tickets, you see all things full, phone calls and stuff. It's crazy. No one can work. So you need this VPN to connect to connect to the company and to do your work. And then on this machine you have to take care that you will have access also to all the data you need to work. To have the shared drive. Sometimes you need to request an access to a network drive, and no one knows where is the data. So you need to ask to the IT support, open a ticket, and it's full process of validation and stuff before you reach to the thing you need. So it's actually very complex, and it's still not the the full picture of it. We can so imagine many scenarios, you know.
Yeah, actually, now think at your description, I came to Revolgy from a kind of like smallish company of roughly 80 people, and even in a company of that size, which I consider on the smallish scale, yeah, they used to have VPNs and everything, and they already they modernized some of their IT, but it was like just half step, not to the full what we call promised land sometimes together.
Yeah, that's true. And you know, and the user then, what they are using on daily basis, you know, most of them Microsoft Office to perform the job, you know. So they have the Microsoft Office, most of them like install on the machine, not the online version of Office 365. And what's the daily job, you know? The guy and just open the laptop, open Outlook to get his email, you know. And if he's lucky, everything is working. If he's not, you know what I mean. You need to open tickets and all the stuff. And it's, you know, it's all already set up like this in many companies. And so at this point, what we can do to modernize this infrastructure, you know, like educate our IT support to do new stuff. Do we need, you know, a new project manager to find what we can, you know, modernize and change inside this? And sometimes the point come to, let's say, okay, we will probably try to work in the cloud. So we will change, let's say, on this full picture of things we need, we will change our Microsoft Office for, let's say, Google Workspace, as we do sometimes. And we have some companies who do this. So it's already a good step to go, let's say, to the cloud, because finally you have your app online, and you don't need to set up them and to install them on the computer. And you can start also to store all your data on the Google Drive, so online, let's say. So it's also the first change, like you don't have to store your data inside the servers of the company, it can be outside. But it's a good step, but for me, all the time, it's a bit frustrating. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I remember one client, and it was already a corporate. There were like 2,000-3,000 users, employees, and like they were deciding basically which mailing solution to choose, because they were on legacy, you know, Lotus Notes also for file server, and it was a project manager who got this, and it's like it feels you are talking about a really isolated topic, where essentially it should be like, you know, what is the strategy for your IT? I agree with that.
Yeah. And, you know, also on those, you know, companies, when they decide, like, they see just Microsoft Office, we can change, but they still use, let's say, Zoom or GoToMeeting for their live meeting, and they use also, you know, or Cisco WebEx or, you know, whatever, things like that. They use also like a third-party tools for chat, or also not, you know, it's like a lot of small bricks put one to each other, and in the end, you know, we don't really know how to make them work together. So, what I found frustrating sometimes, like Google Workspace is not just a substitute to Microsoft Office.
Oh yeah,
is way more things, and this is the, you know, this is the most complicated thing to picture, you know, to show to the people, like the whole thing you can do with this, you know, like it's really wider than just a substitute to Microsoft Office.
Actually, yeah, I agree with you there, because, you know, as a sales guys, we sometimes do the total cost of ownership analysis with the client, and when you come to a full Microsoft world, man, it's complicated. It's like so many different topics, so many different softwares, and, you know, like you have the extra MDM and stuff like that. And in the end, yeah, with Google, it's essentially 3 parts. It's Google Workspace, it's Chrome OS if you choose it, which you don't have to, and then it's the Google Cloud Platform for example, virtualizations. Yeah,
that's the point. And you said something, I want to jump on it.
Okay.
You said Chrome OS.
Oh yeah.
Just on it. So
come on.
Yeah. You know, I'm a big fan of
it. He is a great fan of Chrome OS.
I'm a really fan of it. So it's like, for me, it's exactly, you know, the full ecosystem of Google was a sense, you know, in this situation. Like, let's say you have your Google Workspace. Do you need specifically your Windows computer to use it. And I have to remind you that your Windows computer needs to be updated and maintained and everything by your IT support. So there is a risk that you will not be able to work, and it also costs quite a lot in the end to maintain. So let's switch from this to a Chromebook. So you have your Chromebook, you connect it with your company, and easily you access to everything. There is no maintenance, nothing to set up. And you experiment this already in the company here.
Yeah.
When, for example, you forgot your computer at home.
I do that all the time.
What you did?
I always forget my computer because I commute quite a long way. I forget my laptop at home, and I just come here to the place where we store the extra computers. I just take first on the shelf. In 10 seconds, I'm on my desktop with Chrome OS. Though, when we bring up this topic in the companies with our clients, I usually face two problems. First is that they are just not aware of Chrome OS. They don't know what it is, they don't know the capabilities, which is a huge shame because I love it as a solution. Second thing is still very often we face that they are not able to use Chrome OS because they have some legacy, what we call fat clients that they are installed desktop.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with that?
So what we imagine is like first, let's see all the things we can do first using Google Workspace. Yeah. So because this is sometimes what is missing, you don't know what is inside. So you have your app to do Google Meet, to do your meetings, which is like the most important right now, let's be honest, during the COVID situation. And also all the, Google Docs, Sheets, Slides, Forms, everything, like the productivity, let's say, application, like, to have your mobile office, let's say. And you have also like Google Drive to store your data. But there is also a bunch of small little apps who are not really famous and used for people. Let's say Google Keep for your notes, or Google Task to organize your work, And for sure, I didn't speak about Gmail, but Gmail is quite famous. Everybody is using Gmail right now. So it's like
actually we are shooting this in Czech Republic, and I think that Czech Republic is kind of like exception in the whole of Europe that we have a strong mailing client for private life, but all around Europe, Gmail is by far the most popular mailing solution.
Yeah, totally, because you have on the phone and stuff, and you're used to it. So it's like, this is the full picture. And if you associate this with Google Chrome and let's say Chrome OS, you even have, much power on this in the company.
Okay.
First, let's say you can manage your devices. So just from the admin console of Google Workspace, in a few clicks, you can decide to deploy any application you need from the Chrome Store or from the Play Store. If it's an Android app, you can deploy. And you have all this control on your devices. And let's imagine you want to change the user of one of your device. This turnover in company was taking a long time. Classical company, take back the computer, erase everything from this, re-image the computer with the last version, try to do the updates, drivers and everything. Takes quite a long time to the IT support. If you do this with Chrome OS and the Google Workspace, I'm not kidding. It's one click.
Yeah, I know.
You do one click, the device is reset, and the next user who open it just log in and start to work.
But I just wanted to say that this specifically, I think is great. Like, I think it's great on any level, basically, of a company. And in Revolgy, we are roughly 70 people, I think, and it's already helping us a lot, I think, as we are quite distributed.
Yeah.
But I do remember one client, and they were doing retail. They operated all around CEE. But their main ID support was located in Prague, and there it makes ton of impact when they just can operate any endpoint device from Prague, and they just don't care about the support. If one machine breaks, you just send it to local IT company for replacement. Yeah.
Exactly. So in this case, it's much more flexible. And you talked before about like if they have some specific application, because I understand that sometimes you have some, I don't know, app for accountants or something for making the pay, and you attach to this app, and it's running just on Windows, let's say. So then you have different option to make them run inside also Chrome OS. First, there is the possibility now to have a parallel desktop. So it's kind of a Windows virtual machine inside the Chrome OS. It's a local solution. So you need to install, to deploy this image inside the device. It can be also automated through the admin console. But you have a full Windows image on the computer. So this is recommended if you have a lot of software that you can use it. But if it's just one or two software and you need to have access to them, there is now a solution, like for example, Frame from Nutanix, who is like a VDI solution, who is absolutely amazing. Like you just publish actually your application on internet, using Google Cloud Platform and all those stuff, and your app is accessible through a web link, and you can single sign on your user to this app using the Google identity, and that's it. You have access to the app, and from any device. That's also the good point. Like you're using your computer, but you're using another computer tomorrow or something.
That's the idea.
You don't need to set up the app. You just
that's the
launch
idea
it
of
and
the cloud. Actually, you just that is another thing which I absolutely love about the cloud age. And Google specifically is the single sign-on. It just makes life so easier for me.
Absolutely.
And not remembering passwords and stuff like this.
This is also.
It feels so legacy to us.
Absolutely, but
I know there are a lot of companies which still do have it, and I'm sure that it's easy to say to be the armchair general and say why don't they do it? Obviously there must be strong cases for that, but once you move to something like this, you don't want to go back.
Yeah, absolutely.
On user or admin level.
I can share with you some experience I have about it. I was working on IT support during many years, and one of the heaviest tasks and who required a lot of people IT support, it's resetting passwords. It's crazy.
I still keep hearing about this. I was never an admin, so I've never gone through that. But it's like I hear it in every client, in every company which is what we call cloud ready. They are not in cloud yet. You keep hearing about this. Resetting password. Resetting
password. So you have the AD password, and it's not probably synchronized with the Office 365 password. It's not all the time synchronized. And you have also, let's say, a password for the printing application. And you have another password for the VPN also, who is not sometimes synchronized also with the Active Directory. And then, anything like this, so it's for the users also, they have to have a different set of passwords sometimes, and it's really hard to maintain. So single sign-on with the Google identity for the most things you can do, and this is what I like in this ecosystem. Let's say you have the same password, who is actually secured also by the two-step verification, because it's also integrated. So two-step verification with your phone, so like this, it's secure, and it's not this, I remember, company, they were used to say every 30 days, you need to change the password of your users.
And it has to be really different from the last one. So in the end, you put it on the paper.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
It's exactly this. And this fashion, let's say, is over now. Because if you do this, you push the users to have a system for the password. So in the end, the password is not strong. So better have a really strong password, keep it for long, a mobile phone for the two-step verification, and everything is fine.
And essentially, this is actually what we sometimes say to the clients as a challenge, is that I see it in a lot of companies that, in private life, when you use applications like Facebook and, Instagram and stuff like that, you are just basically used to everything is so simple. Log in, everything is fast, you immediately have it in your phone, accessible anywhere, anytime, you read your emails. You don't wait to synchronize with something. I kind of always thought this should be the same, at least the same, in the companies. And in the reality, people expect much higher standard in private life than in the corporate life. And it still can be, in corporate, I get there is the security, I get it. It's a security layer, absolutely. that is very important for us. It's a huge topic, but you can still get all of the security plus the same ease of use. So in the end, your users don't bother your IT support.
Yeah. Security is a really tricky topic. I was also in some companies, but you have also like probably a security team or some security guys who are there, but it's on few people. All the security of the company, is inside a small box, and you're just like. Sometimes it's weird, like we give all the confidence to like a few people to secure all the infrastructure and the data of users. Like we know that Google spent, so much money to hire the best security guys all over the world, and it's,
This is actually very connected, because if you create a very complex and difficult to use secure system, people will find other ways. This is where you get shadow IT, so that they will message each other over WhatsApp and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So for me, actually keeping a simple, easy to use system which has good security policies is the best way to go, because you don't overburden your users and they don't go out of your system.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for me, if I circle back to the topic, Chrome OS is also part of that, because I consider it probably the most secure operating system.
It is.
And
it is.
Yeah, and if you educate your users to do it right,
exactly,
it makes a lot of sense.
And it's on the integration. If you need, let's say also, okay, you have the user laptop and the Chrome OS and everything, but some companies, they also host their own app, let's say in the cloud or on-prem or something like this. There is also in this Google ecosystem some also tools who can help you to also increase the security, like Beyond Corp, for example.
Yeah, of course.
I wanted to talk about it before, but Beyond Corp is the zero trust model applied to Google. And so zero trust model, what does it mean? Like, if you're inside or outside of the company, let's take it short, it's not less or more secure. You have to
I don't trust anybody.
You have to take care of the security of any devices inside or outside the company.
Okay. Yeah, I think we should kind of wrap it up. So in the end, what is the promised land in your? Because we use this term, what we want to describe to our customers, and we also see it as not one step, but it's a journey. You start somewhere, you adopt more and more. So how would you describe it? What is the promised land? What is the target destination for us?
For me, like the ideal IT infrastructure for a company, it's exactly the simplicity. Because once you start to make them complex, it's more expensive and more time consuming to maintain them.
And less secure, in my opinion.
And less secure because you don't have a sure control about it. Yeah. It's the problem. So me, what I recommend, mostly, like if you have a new company or you want to transform your company to something else, your IT infrastructure, let's say, best recommendation is like go Google Workspace, try to use Chrome OS devices to see if they fit your needs, and probably they will do.
Yeah.
Use Android phones because you have integrated mobile management.
That's a tough sell.
That's a tough sell, I know, but it's also integrated also on Google Workspace. You can use also.
You can use any device.
You can use also iOS.
Yeah.
But if you are talking about real ecosystem, we know Android is also Google. So you have also like the simplicity of the application, and you find all the same things on your laptop, mobile device, and everything. So with all this, was in the end pretty simple. You can run your IT with no effort, and you do not need so much people to maintain. You just need to educate just your IT support, and
that's like to end it on a positive note, as I always say. I know of clients that what is your biggest IT project for next year? Yeah, it's updating our, I don't know, it used to be like updating the Exchange server.
Yeah.
It will take us 4 months. What? I would really like to, basically, I wish this to all the customers, to get rid of this and rather to focus on, the IT should be, in my opinion, the business accelerator, basically, or at least kind of invisible in a way that it doesn't create obstacles, but it really helps the company to grow. Yeah,
I totally agree on that. So let's try to keep it, to say like, let's make it simple.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
Cheers.